I'm going to go through 7 steps to overcome weaknesses. Now, this can be used to really live into your purpose or whatever it is you want to do in your life. Ultimately, there are strengths that you have, but there are also weaknesses that are holding you back. So I'm going to go through 7 steps that you can use to start overcoming the weaknesses in your life. So the first step is awareness, right? And this takes time, and it takes questioning, and it takes maybe asking other people or really thinking about it. But becoming aware of what your weakness actually is, is the first step to obviously overcoming it. But the second step is questioning, right? Questioning, what that means is actually ask yourself whether this is actually a weakness. Because some things may appear as a weakness, but may actually be a strength. So, for example, if you are a really, let's just say you're a unique person and you're a genuine person, that may not be rewarded in society, right? That may not be rewarded in the environments that you go into. That doesn't mean that it's a weakness, right? And it might be a weakness at first in the short term, but it might actually be a strength for you in the long term. So try to question, in the long term, is this a weakness for me? Is this actually a weakness if I don't overcome it? If the answer is yes, if you think, you know what, I'm not going to be able to get to what I want to do or to the level I want if, I don't figure out a way to overcome this weakness, then you can accept it as a weakness. And that's the third step, accepting. What a lot of people do is they avoid, right? They avoid the weakness. And I've done it in the past, just tried to focus on motivation, motivate myself and whatever. But there's a weakness, there's a thing that's actually holding me back that I need to overcome and that I need to find a different strategy, to approach. So you're not going to find that unless you accept, whether it's a temporary weakness or a permanent weakness. We need to first accept it before we can overcome it. So once you accept it, we've got step number 4, learning. Start learning about your weakness. Start understanding it. It could be organization. I don't know what it is for you, public speaking. But start learning about it. Start learning about understanding the weakness, understanding the ways, the different strategies, which can improve upon that weakness. And then you get to the 5th step. You've done some learning, experimentation. So you've got to be trying different things and sort of seeing from your own experience what works, what helps, right? And then once you've done that and you've experimented a little bit, you get to step number 6, and that is taming. If you tame your weaknesses by putting the right structures in place, by putting the right strategies in place, your strengths can truly shine. If you have your weaknesses pulling you back, your strengths are not going to truly shine. But if you can overcome your weaknesses, your strength can truly shine, right? And now there's a 7th step. Now for the 7th step, this one, not everybody reaches. But it's to flip it. So once you've tamed your weakness, and you can really focus on delivering that strength, there's also an opportunity to flip it. So step number 7 is to flip it. And again, this is not a step that everybody reaches. Usually people that master things reach this level of overcoming their weakness. I'll give you an example like David Goggins. He had a bad childhood, he had ADHD, he had things that were limited, things that held him back, right? Weaknesses. He was overweight, he didn't have charge of his own mind, right? He had that weakness to a severe level. And he overcame it. And then eventually he flipped it. He made it his strength. He made it his focus, right? He became the best at it. He became the most disciplined person on the planet, or that's what he's known as, right? And he did that because the pain of the past drove him to become that, right? Another example, Jim Quick. He at school he'd had a head injury, and the teacher literally said, that's the boy with a broken brain. He can't learn, and he became like a master of learning, and now he teaches and helps people to master their brain health and to learn better. It's about mastery, right? So that's the 7th step. Again, not everybody reaches it, but they are the 7 steps of mastering and overcoming your weaknesses. Hope that helps.